Game 1 of Gaimin Gladiators versus Talon. Take it away.
Thank you very much for the very illuminating interview, as always, as Quinn and Seleri are going to find a few members of Talon. We can't even introduce the teams. As the Blood Right comes out.
Reflection.
And Plasma Field onto tOfu, the Blood Grenade to follow. He might be the first Blood, and indeed he is, and it goes to Mikoto on the mid-ember. Anyway, welcome everybody. This is Talon versus Gaimin Gladiators, best of 3 for the lower bracket semis of the Riyadh Masters. Sunsfan here with Kezu. Hi.
Hello. Are you doing your Jenkins impression where you just go, hi?
Yeah. Could I get your opinion on the game? Maybe.
Yes.
The coach interviews are just golden. Anyway, Kezu, what do you think of these lineups as we're going to see the bounty runes spawn? Well, hold on.
Hold
here.
Hold that.
Blood Right coming. Only going to hit 1.
Is that
Talon grabbing 2 so far. Gaimin Gladiators with 1.
Okay.
And the final one will go to Gaimin, so will be a trade.
Okay, so we can talk about the drafts now.
Yeah.
I would say Gaimin Gladiators have a draft that they very much like. A lot of signature heroes. Even just the tOfu Disruptor from yesterday, he went kind of beast mode, like in that series alone against the BB team. And I had to hold it together there, I'm sorry.
What's your problem?
Just the BBT.
Okay. We don't have to worry about them anymore, so get them out of your head.
Take over for a moment.
Okay. All right, yeah, tOfu, we saw him get the early Aghanim Scepter. He got a Blink Dagger as well, and this hero, I feel like, was really popular earlier in this big patch.
Yeah.
But fell off a bit for whatever reason, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the tournament, we're seeing it a lot more consistently again. Much like we're seeing the techies and a lot of these other supports come to light again. Yeah,
it's just like when you cycle through your heroes and you go through the tournament, I also don't really know what caused it. Maybe some heroes being nerfed or some things being shuffled around. But Talon overall, I would say they have a draft that they're fairly familiar with, right? You have the 23 TB, you've got your Undying. They've also played a fairly similar draft already before against Liquid's IOLesh, which worked out really well for them. The only thing I'm not too sure about is this Razor. Jabz is going to have to get off to a good early game here.
Yeah, and this has been the hero that we've talked about it several times. Extremely underwhelming. I don't think we've cast one game where it's actually done well. It's 23 Savage forcing out Ace a bit on this Tidehunter. But we'll see how it does this time around. I think if it doesn't do well in game 1, I'm ready to call it a completely garbage hero that nobody should ever pick. But
it's just like Hero just has a lot of issues when you don't get off to a pretty good early game. But in terms of Gaimin, they ended up going for the Ace Tidehunter, which, I'm not gonna lie, it's a sick Tidehunter game. You've got a lot of stuff where you can just stand your ground, combo breaks, the Ravage, tOfu taking a beating here.
Tombstone down as well, 23 Savage.
Ooh, 23.
Pretty low to the Thunder Strike, but Ace taking a decay. The zombies are coming. He's getting up a gush onto Ollie, so he takes a couple pop shots from the tower. And the glimpse back into said tower. Ollie, another couple shots from the tower. Is it going to be enough with the Thunderbolt as well? Yes, it is. tOfu claims a kill. Nicely played from Gaimin Gladiators. A little bit too aggressive from Talon, but very action-packed early game we have here.
I mean, tOfu, God, honestly, just being able to come back in his lane a little bit. Because if we look at the CS up top, 14 to 7 to 7 and 0, not really going your way, but looking at the mid lane.
Amount of last hits at 2 minutes.
That is basically every CS but 1, I think. Or maybe the creep was still alive at that point.
Right.
As Quinn, no stranger to the Disco Pony versus Ember matchup, 2 of his favorite heroes.
Yeah. I do want to talk about all these lanes at some point, but we've been seeing so much action here. How does the Razor do in lane against the likes of a Bloodseeker? Because, I mean, if you look at history at least, Static Link against melee, typically good.
Yeah.
But then you have potential a lot of movement speed from DyrachYO to get away, especially with the IO linked up.
Yeah, like, so you get movement speed from the Tether, and then the other lanes as well, you've got quite a bit of harass going on, right? You have Tide Disruptor, which they maybe won't get them too low on the other side, but also the Lesh mid against Ember, so honestly, I think both of them might just free farm in the bottom lane.
Okay. Yeah, Mikoto getting a bit handled in mid lane. I mean, keep in mind, he got the first blood, so had the opportunity to get that bottle out a little bit earlier, but both these heroes, of course, have one. They'll probably get the water runes just split since there's no rotations coming yet from the supports.
So we have just gonna have a little bit of trading for the 4-minute rune, but later one thing we need to not forget is just should be fine here. Does take a lot of damage, so is that you have the very classic Ember Coddle combo, and that against the Radiant heroes they don't have the best.
Quinn?
Quinn.
He actually dies in the river going for the said water rune. So Mikoto now level 5. Despite having this massive CS advantage, looks like Quinn is losing mid.
I mean, maybe just, up top, 23 in Ollie.
Yeah, that's a metamorphosis.
2 levels in Kraken Shell, so he might be okay here.
Went for a 1-2-0 build, as tOfu's going to get a glimpse onto 23 Savage. His courier's actually going to die as well. These pro players sure do forget about their couriers. Feel bad for their pets at home, as tOfu getting chased under his own tower. Ollie is technically surrounded, but it's a lot of low HP targets from Gaimin Gladiators. Here comes Seleri to link up with the disruptor of all heroes. And
23 coming back.
Still in the meta form, and Seleri,
sir,
he rotates just to die. And now, Gush coming out on Ace.
Sticks and Fairy still.
Glimpse back. Yeah, he's doing just fine. As tOfu's sacrificing even more HP just to get a blood grenade out.
In the meantime, also down bottom, you have Mr. DyrachYO, who's not getting any CS, as he has 70 damage being linked away from him, from Mr. Jabz, so they're just abusing the fact that Seleri had to go up top, as Talon have a really nice start, right? They're winning top. Sure, your CS isn't going super well mid, but Mikoto squeezing in that kill on Quinn, which is not something we see too often, right?
Yeah, that is true. DyrachYO, like you said, I mean, his CS is really good. It's just when Seleri made that rotation,
yeah,
definitely suffered for a wave or two. But in the interview last night, I believe they played last night for Gaimin Gladiators, Quinn talked about the fact that he wishes that they'd get IO Lesh more often because he's just been playing Lesh alone and they've been winning. And now they're going to get the IO on top as DyrachYO completely surrounded. The tombstone coming from the south, he runs right into it. And that's going to lead to an eventual kill. Jabz on the board.
Well, Solo may not be in this tournament anymore, but his moves, definitely other teams are stealing it. So Ollie just comes by bottom. Easy block grenade, tombstone into the pushback. 6-minute rune. Seleri.
Quinn does not get the power rune.
Gaimin is not watching the game.
Yeah, Seleri denies it.
That's a early tower, and in the meantime, you just have 23. No, he just gets to chill up top on his TB, so this early move is really damn important for Talon, because if you're this Bloodseeker with IO, you just want to sit in this lane, sustain through it, but losing a tower at 6 minutes, that ain't a good sign.
Yeah, well, this is a good sign for Talon, because like you said, Razor needs to get off to a good start, and he has. We've seen different variations of builds. We've seen the Maelstrom, which I'm not sure what he's actually going. I think something must be coming out on the courier right now.
Probably just, so what I've seen, the most general stuff on Razor is like some Treads Falcon Blade BKB or maybe Treads Midas BKB. All I can assure you that is by 20 minutes in this game, Jabz will want to have and will need to have a BKB. Up mid though.
Yeah, we got some action on the Quinn, but Mikoto.
Oh, he still gets him!
Oh my goodness, that the Lesh was out as Seleri was linked up and more than enough damage from Talon.
It's these little bonus timings, like Mikoto having this first blood, then the follow-up kill, him being level 7 with a completed Orb of Corrosion. Like, if he's level 6 there, or doesn't have the Orb, I don't think that Slight would end up getting that kill.
And from Ace's side, talked about his build being a little bit unorthodox with the 2 points in the Kraken Shell, but he is against a lot of physical damage, so starting to put points finally into the Anchor Smash. We'll see if they make some stacks for him to eventually take. The Meteor Hammer still not quite online. Speaking of stacks though, Quinn taking a nice juicy one here.
Yeah, something to mention is that 23, or I don't know if either of us saw it, but he denied the Wisdom Rune on the top side from GG with an Illusion. And Ollie was, or Q rather, was the one to get there. So Gaimin Gladiators not able to get a Wisdom Rune either on the board.
And we have a rotation from Talon. Just a ward expedition it seems, not looking to backstab Ace in that top lane. 8-minute rune will be top.
All right, Talon.
Another rune denied from Quinn.
Getting off to a good start. The other thing is also you have IO Disruptor. These are heroes that have to play through their cores. So when your mid laner in Lash, who's generally the one you have to play through, doesn't have the best start, I feel like Talon are able to answer your ball just with the nature of Ember Coddle and Mikoto having such a good start to this game.
He has a shield rune down on Mikoto. Already have that one tower in the bot lane, trying to pressure the mid now. Your favorite neutral item picked up.
Spark of Courage, baby.
That's right.
DyrachYO will be very happy about that, of course, as he has a shitload of attack speed. So Spark of Courage is going to do a lot for him. As I like what Talon are doing here. Just slowly hit down his mid tower, play together with your strong hero plus the Kato.
Any sort of defense is coming for Gaimin Gladiators, and so far not so much. So already the tower at half HP. Surely they can't give this up for free.
I mean, you can try to push them away a little bit, but I feel like you honestly cannot really answer this Talon.
Wow.
Like the 3-man ball, the shield rune as Ace.
Trying to go for the deny.
Good deny from
Gets
tOfu.
it, and they actually TP in with Ace, getting off the Ravage onto 2. The kinetic field with the Pulse Nova damage is there from Quinn, so they give it the tier 1 tower, but it was denied. It's a big slight coming in to take out tOfu, as that shield rune still activated as the Jabz off the plasma field, but I don't think they're going to get much more. Gaimin Gladiators did a lot more than I thought they would. As DyrachYO actually makes rotation now as well. Gets the rupture with the blood. Right, focusing everything that they have onto Jabz. Even a meteor hammer being used, but Quinn dies first. Razor after. Damn, this is an action-packed game.
What a sick DP from Ace. He just comes mid with some double Ravage and gets some return kills, because it kind of looked like Talon were just going to get a tower for free with no real punishment afterwards, as now they do say that there's a lot of stacks, so let's see what they want to do about it. Of course, you have Undying, but Tombstone is on cooldown, unless you're going to chakra it off for the next 2-3 times.
Illuminates, as they're going to help take out some of the smaller creeps that Ace probably doesn't give a crap about anyway. Make some vision back with the Watcher, but yeah, they're going to be able to take the hard camp, and then it's all a bolt. I hear a glimpse. That's going to be Mikoto, but he's got a Remnant to get back into it. Only a double stack of the Ancients right now, so not like a crazy thing for Talon to steal. But the fact that you're disrupting any of these farming patterns is pretty important as well. Mikoto, already 1,000 deep into his Maelstrom.
Also has got another DD, so they're going to continue to play with him and DyrachYO. DyrachYO did win quite a lot out of the last 2 minutes though, right? He got to farm bottom when Jabz left, and by the time he goes mid, he gets a very important kill. And now that he goes back to bottom on the Bloodseeker, he just gets to continue to farm, so even after maybe not the most perfect start, getting closer to a Maelstrom.
Quinn getting gone on by Mikoto. There's a link from Seleri though. Gets off the Split Earth. You can see the Tombstone coming in though. Looks like Talon still want to fight. They're going to take out the Tombstone as the Rupture comes out onto Q, stuck inside that kinetic field. But
Jabz.
the damage onto DyrachYO is out of control. He's just dead. First one to drop, in fact. And now Quinn trying to get something else out of this. He gets off a Lightning Storm and then dies of his own accord as well. So 2 cores down for Gaimin, and all they get is the Keeper of the Light. This double damage. I mean, we saw this yesterday with Quinn. Where he got him. It's a double kill for Mikoto. The blind slight, beautifully done.
I mean, when I think of SCA, I think of Ember. When I think of Mikoto, I think of Ember. He's got a DD rune with just all these chakras coming through. If they can't stop him or make him run away in the fight, he's just going to slowly whittle you down in these early jungle fights. Even Jabz just comes by, and he's got a Midas completed as well.
I mean, they've taken full advantage of getting these power runes. I think only one was denied for them. Otherwise, Mikoto has picked up every single one of that double damage.
Yeah, he's about to get a haste.
At a perfect time. I mean, I was bringing that up in the middle of the fight, but Quinn, we saw him do the exact same thing yesterday, and that turned out really well for Gaimin.
Yeah.
So, for Talon's sake, you gotta hope that they can snowball this as the Midas online for a Razor.
Yeah. You do have ults now on Gaimin, so that can help, of course, at least a little bit. Maybe some relocate to disengage from the fight, or the static to finally have an answer for 23. But even then, you don't have the best setup for it. Yesterday, I believe Quinn went for an early use, which honestly paid off immensely. But this time around, you don't have the what's tOfu's setup? He's gonna have to set it up himself with a glimpse, or maybe Ace's Ravage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You could get that tentacle surprise.
Of course, with the Tormentor.
That's right. Well, you might have to buy it this time.
Maybe.
Probably not worth. The Maelstrom is there for Mikoto as Ace doing Tidehunter things, just sitting in the mid lane now that that tier 1 top is gone.
Yeah, it's just...
Problem is he doesn't have a tier 1 for himself.
That is true. I mean, if he overplays, he can definitely die, but Talon are going to look for a nice move up top here. Another thing that TB enables for your team is just easier moves around the map, as your illusions are going to push out some waves. So Talon going to check if they can find DyrachYO here, so we'll have to see if his sixth sense is tingling, and it is.
He backs away just at the right time. You can see 23 Savage jungling on the other side of the map, so he is super safe, not being pressured at all. But Ace, he's the one that they find. He's getting pretty low, but actually going for the Ravage play. Gets Searing Chain right after, so it will help him survive, but now they're not going to have Ravage. Maybe at this point in the game, not that big of a deal.
I guess they don't care all that much about it, because right now both teams are pretty much just looking at some item timings. You have Quinn, who's going to try to work on his Bloodstone. He needs this tankiness and then the spell Lifesteal to work through all these Sleight of Fist. Same with the DyrachYO, right? He's going to want his BKB, which is still quite far away in this game. Does have the Maelstrom now, though, so his network will start to skyrocket.
Yeah, it'll be a second item BKB for DyrachYO. So expecting to have to fight pretty early. As the Bloodstone getting close for Quinn. And Ace, no big surprise going for the pipe. So pretty standard build across the board for Gaimin. And then for Talon, it is the BKB next for Jabz. Same for Mikoto. And TB, he can wait for a bit before getting that. We'll be getting the stat-heavy item in the Scotty.
I mean, Gaimin with this Bloodstone right now are still very strong. There's another like X-Factor item that could come out from Talon, which is a Spirit Vessel on Q, which he's like more than halfway to. But overall, like when Talon get us these BKBs and the Scotty timing on TB, I think they're going to be very confident. So Gaimin might want to look for maybe some smaller engagements throughout the next couple minutes.
Yeah, if you just look at the lineup for Gaimin, it's other than the Bloodseeker, it is all magic. So BKB is going to be unbelievably important. And then even for Bloodseeker, it's not like he's doing that much damage yet. It's going to take a while for him to ramp up.
Yeah, he kind of needs time and gets to like go in there with the Rupture. So I must say, like, this Razor weren't maybe too sure how it's gonna go, but if he gets to this Midas BKB timing by like what, 18-ish minutes, none of these Radiant heroes are really gonna stop him, and that's when Razor really pops off. You go in there with your BKB, you launch on a target with your ult and Link, and you take that fine. But here comes Gaimin.
Yeah, Quinn and company, they find Ollie. There's a Static Storm. He gets off his Flesh Golem and the Tombstone. It's gonna take a while to rip right through him. They do get the kill though, as Quinn is gonna get sent back with the IO for the relocate play just to be able to survive. tOfu looks to be very dead. So for now it's a 1-for-1, but Seleri,
we'll find him.
They're waiting for him. He's gonna get the Link onto the creeps with the overcharge to follow, but eventually Mikoto gets another double kill in the game.
This network on Ember is something that people are very scared of generally, as Gaimin should be in this game. This is a 8.6k net worth Ember at 16 minutes. You're gonna have a Razor running in with you later, and if you can pair up your own Maelstrom BKB with that, I feel like Talon should be incredibly happy with the state of the game right now.
So from Gaimin's side, what's their power spike? Is this one of those games where you have to just give up buildings, like the first Roche, maybe even the first two, and just try to defend until some set of items comes online and then you can fight?
I don't think Gaimin have to give up that much, but they're going to be looking at the DyrachYO BKB and Ace's Pipe and likely this Quinn Yules just to keep delaying the fight. So on these three item timings, as tOfu is just going to be easily picked up here. That's a god like Mikoto.
Yep, he's food. Rupture comes out onto Mikoto, standing his ground. His launch is the one taking a lot of damage. A beautiful splitter onto the support in the back line. They're going to be able to take out them easily, but Mikoto does remnant away. So the big prize is not there, but based on how this game is going, I think Gaimin will be happy with the 2-for-1 exchange.
They must be very happy, because we were saying they want to be the ones waiting for a little bit, so when they get this net worth pumped into the DyrachYO, speeding up his BKB timing, they'll be very, very happy about that.
And that BKB about to fly out for Jabz now. And we'll see how early they want to try to go for Roche.
Guess they have, you have Overcharge, you have Lecher's a pretty decent Roche hero, maybe with some more levels in the Gush. That is something you can look for. I would say Talon are going to be the ones forcing that on them, I think.
I was going to talk about Talon. That's why I was...
Yeah.
I think they definitely have a good opportunity to get that in the next couple minutes.
Something else is, they're not just playing against TB, it's TB Caudal, which is, I mean, everyone kind of knows about the combo, right? You get more illusions, you lower the cooldown of meta. There's tOfu going very deep here.
Yes, he is. He's going to get slowed now. Earn charge applied as well. Plasma Field's going to slow. Ace and company are nearby.
That's a lot of damage on Jabz.
Using his BKB and not going to find anything with it. Gets a good static link, but I mean, that's a 9-second charge that you're never going to get back.
Well, I guess it's not truly the same it used to be, right? If you run into Lesh, you have Diabolic Edict that's pure, the ult still goes through. That's Mikoto beating out a Rupture.
Farming through Rupture, easy peasy. Ace continuing to push this mid lane with the Meteor Hammer, and he's going to get the tower one way or the other. And he's actually going for an Aghanim Scepter, pretty early one on the Tide. Now that he has Pipe, so looking at this long-range Gush. And we already mentioned tOfu, how he built an Aghanim Scepter the last couple games. He's, again, going for a very quick one. He's already halfway there as a position for Disruptor. Does not have the Philly Stone, of course. Could technically start dropping now, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have it yet, but yeah, I must say he's halfway through to it already. Again, I think this game is gearing up for like a very big Roche fight within the next like 2-ish minutes. Everyone is getting their core item timings. Both tams know how important it is.
Oh, tOfu, he actually sees Mikoto. He's going to be able to get the glimpse, but the Remnant out. Very hard hero to control. Now they're going to do some damage to this tier 2, and it's a lot because that is a diabolic edict, forcing out fortification.
Talon should be fine, I think, with this. Even if they potentially give up this tower, at the 20-minute mark, Roche is going to go down bottom. And with what we've been talking about, I would say that they're going to be the ones forcing it down there. But it looks like with the Skadi timing on 23 at 19 minutes, they may want to be the ones to look for their own fight up top here.
Look at the net worth for Gaimin side. When's the last time we saw Ace as the top net worth? It's been a hot minute, and it used to be very consistently him at the top, right? So this actually does feel like a normal Gaimin Gladiators game from 2 weeks before today.
I mean, it's even all 6 of the cores. They're actually all very close by. And this Aghanims, I think I can kind of follow. You help your Lesh and your Bloodseeker just kind of get in that fight. I do feel like later when tOfu has Axe, you're going to have to think about the Blink Ravage just to set that up.
Yeah. I always wondered if somebody's going to go for like a quick Aghanim Scepter on the Tide, if he would ever go for the other 10 Talon. We'll talk about it in just a minute, as Ollie will be caught out. Does get the Tombstone down. It's probably a little bit of slow potential as Mikoto's there, along with the TB, but the Static Storm placed on the outside of the kinetic field. The relocate will not go through, and Quinn gets punished. Trying to take out that really annoying Undying, and it's going to cost them 3 members. Mikoto's BKB comes out to be able to counteract the glimpse.
He doesn't care. He wants more kills. He's already 11-0. I talked about the Coddle TB before. You're just going to keep lowering the cooldown, so by the next time that comes up, they can be the ones just looking at this Roche, even giving 23 the Wisdom Rune. Tormentor.
See, they value the grab ally. Ollie will die for it if he has to.
He will. Stick around, bro.
Yeah, stick around. Okay,
we're waiting for Jabz.
When will teams learn you need 3 people? Ollie, take the damage.
Oh, he's solving through it. What a god.
Feel the pain. Fight through it. You see the replay here. They do get Ollie the Tombstone placed just in time.
He got it.
Even without it, yeah. Grab ally now available to Talon.
I mean, that's just a 19-minute Skadi timing against IO Lesh. Like, that is exactly what you don't want to play into here if you're Quinn. And it's not just that. It's a BKB Razor. It's Mikoto Ember, who's just blasting through this game and killing you everywhere.
Now, Ace does have a Blink Dagger now. So they have the Blink Ravage potential. As you can see the smoke from Gaimin. So opting not to finish the Aghanim Scepter that we've been talking the last 10 minutes about. But I mean, is there any... Have you ever seen the slow taken for the... God, I can never talk about this talent. I just want to talk about some boring shit.
He doesn't have BKB from the kill.
Spirit inside the Static Storm.
Ooh,
and
that's a big one.
Mikoto is killed.
And you know who got the kill for that?
Was the BKB on cooldown?
Yep, 4 or 5 more seconds from the Disruptor kill earlier.
Man, and those micro nerfs over the past
980 gold
years.
Dire's middle tower.
No, I don't even know what you just said. It doesn't matter because tOfu got 1,000 gold from this goddamn kill on Mikoto.
That's all for his Axe. Quinn and Seleri going to the high ground. They get the tower, but there's a lot of people there. Seleri is going to get dropped right off the bat, and now Quinn attempting the TP. Good luck, sir. Double kill for Jabz as he gets ruptured, and DyrachYO.
Big boy DyrachYO.
And the BKB comes down, and now DyrachYO doesn't do too much damage through it. We'll have to try to back away. So they get a really good kill and then go up a high ground without any vision. And that's where the rest of Talon were waiting.
Well, they certainly went into the wrong neighborhood there. Maybe still expecting 23's meta to be on cooldown. But this is as you talked about the career micro from pro players, as Mikoto's career is just falling Jabz. I don't know why. Normal. Can we have a look at that up top? He let him know with the pings.
Maybe he thought that was his hero.
Maybe.
Okay, I have time to talk about this really boring thing.
Do it quick.
I'm genuinely interested. The 10 talent for Tidehunter. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody take the Gush slow. Like, if you're going Aghanim Scepter, it makes sense, but he's not anymore.
So like, the thing is, you don't always know that you're going it right, and the Anchor Smash, like, it helps you farm.
Look at that, 12% pick rate.
Yeah,
That's
'cause-
so low. Like, what does it need to be
15%.
15.
I mean, it would just be better if that Talon is later. So you have more, like, you can decide throughout the mid game if you actually want it. Because knowing whether you want it first item or not is incredibly hard.
Yep, that's true.
But you know what Ace does have?
DyrachYO and Seleri, they're taking the Tormentor. You can't miss this one. They get it! And it's for Seleri. He's going to get the Spell Amp onto the Lesh. For once, this shard is good.
It's also good with DyrachYO, by the way. Nowadays, with how Bloodseeker is played with the Ags.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. The blood right or blood mist. Sorry, there's a lot of bloods in this game. Blood grenades will be added to his repertoire as well.
Yeah, he can use the blood grenade and can spell lifesteal. But you know what Ace does have with the cosmetic? He has Freddy on top of his head. I don't know if we can show that real quick. There is a frog on his cosmetic.
Yeah, that's not Freddy though. That's a toad. Freddy's a frog.
Okay, so who's
this
he?
is
Tommy?
Timmy the toad.
I was close with Tommy.
Tommy. He's got one of those types of names. Just go with it.
That sounds good.
Yeah, DyrachYO is working on the blood mist as you talked about.
I mean, I'm just looking at
Rupture.
the Rupture.
You've been starting out a lot of ruptures here on Mikoto. Just been eating them up.
I mean, honestly, I like this play. Like these Embers, Void Spirits, Storm Spirits, like screw them. Like don't let them be up here. You know, you just Rupture him. You know you're not gonna kill him, but get him the hell out of there.
Now they know he doesn't have a Rupture, so Talon trying the pincer move here. Jabz leading the way. Now Mikoto with the Remnant. They're
taking
gonna
the
find
Lotus.
him by the Lotus. And DyrachYO will BKB TP. There's no way for them to stop it, but another charge down. Was it worth the Lotus? Probably. That block of cheese is going to be something no one will forget. But Talon in the area, they will go into the Roche pit.
But Gaimin Gladiators, they have the Ags on tOfu. If they can try to set it up, it's... I guess... Well, they're going to be too late for this one.
Yeah,
so maybe they have to wait a little more.
They scanned it out, so they know this is happening, so they're just going to push the lanes in the meantime. So first Aegis will go to Talon. Likely from Mikoto. Tried to pick it up, it went inside the tube stuff. He grabbed Allied himself.
It's beautiful.
By accident. Quinn.
Tower is under attack.
Finding some
here.
friends.
Yeah, looks like Seleri's going to be the sacrifice here.
We've got the Nullifier on Mr. Jabz, which honestly is pretty good. You get a lot of damage on Razor, 10 armor as well against some of these Radiant heroes, no joke. And just overall being able to stick on top of heroes. You also make sure that Quinn can't Yule himself in the air, and against this TP matchup, he needs any little help or putting yourself away from the game that you're gonna get.
Ace and tOfu sticking to the high ground for now. Waiting for Talon to make a move with this Aegis. Definitely a difficult thing to fight into. I mean, if they can burn the Aegis really quickly, we'll see if they can. 23 Savage has to get off his BKB, gets off the Sunder off the top, and DyrachYO does not have BKB until now. Gets nullified. It's too late, but Ace comes in with the Ravage on top 4 heroes. Static Storm, basically onto the Razor, and the Sunder. Grab Ally will save TB for now, but that's not going to be very long, in fact, because the Aegis is now expended. DyrachYO, he's nullified. He has no BKB this time. The Illuminate rips right through him. 70 seconds on the deck. As Gaimin Gulpers lose that fight, but they do get the Aegis.
Just a grab Ally once again. It's just saving the fight.
It's too good.
They nearly had 23 Savage there. Or, I mean, rather Jabz on the Razor. Let's just get to save him through the Axe Static Storm and that whole fight. It was without mana.
Is under attack.
They have it now again.
5. No Aegis though, but let's see if they want to poke the high ground. They get the tier 2.
I mean, why not? Gaimin Gladiators deep push is not good. Or not really, or what is it?
If they had Aghanim Scepter on Tide, maybe.
Exactly.
There's
he could spin on. Oh, he's queuing it back up. He knows.
He's actually close. Only 500 gold away.
Pulls
Gonna
the
get
wave.
Searing Chain. Meteor Hammer going to create a bit of space along with the kinetic field. All the delay is needed from Gaimin Gladiators. Bloodseeker down for 20 more.
Even when he
They still have
respawns.
Fortified too, so I think they're fine.
There it is. They will be fine, but 23 is going to continue to poke. Now with a Chrysalis as well. We're going to go for the Silver Edge next.
Yeah.
For later in the game. I mean, this is not the biggest commitment here for your Talon, right? You do this with your meta, but you're going to keep stressing on it with the Chakra Magic. Just continuously lowering these cooldowns.
Oh, yeah.
It's dirty.
The grab ally. You're going to grab him from global range with the Aether Lens.
I mean, he's got the big boy Philly Stone. He has a Shard, a Glimmer, and a Lens. You know, people keep talking about the Undying Shard, and I'm kind of with them. It's pretty damn good. And he's going to just help himself play around that with the Lens. Can't blame him.
I mean, it was nerfed, though, Kazu.
Yeah, so was Medusa.
And Medusa Morph still picked every game, basically.
Mikoto stealing some enemy ancients here,
Yeah.
being a dirty boy.
So Aghanim Scepter is now up for Ace without the 10 talent, but he did get the 15. Which
And
is
without the
120
tentacles.
Extra damage. That's true. There's no tentacles.
The axe only comes into fruition when you have both the axe and the shard.
So I didn't look at the numbers for a while, but Seleri's shard, the overcharge one, it gives 10% bonus spell lamp and 10% spell lifesteal.
That is
to
correct.
the tethered target. So Quinn getting a boosted Bloodstone in some ways.
I mean, Quinn is getting that, and also, I would say DyrachYO later, he also took the spell lifesteal talent on his own hero here, on the Bloodseeker. So potentially one thing that could be looking at is, you get this axe, you kind of have him run in when he drops lower, or just to keep him going in the fight. Seleri, he's going to have to get in there and really help him. Because if the start of the fight for Gaimin doesn't go well, unless they disengage from the meta, I don't really know how they're going to be able to teamfight here.
He really wants to tether 2 targets at once.
Oh yeah, maybe that's the next shard.
That's what you get when you combine Block of Cheese, Aghanim Scepter, and Shard, as Talon and Gaimin Gladiators are smoked up.
Oh, the
big ravage from Ace with the Static Storm onto 2. That's 2 cores dead. No, the grab ally saving for the time being, but it's again only a short amount of time. Ollie dead on top of it. Mikoto lives along with the Keeper. We're just seeing the power of this Static Storm Aghanim Scepter as Q will go into the tree line.
I'll scan you.
Did he
They can get a little bit of vision.
run away, old man?
Relocate, or the... Yeah, he's going to be able... He's actually alone right now. But the
Q
Gush
comes
coming
to
from
Gush.
below, Q. They don't have vision yet. There's a kinetic field keeping Q in the area, and that's going to be a 4th kill in this fight for Gaimin Gladiators. Now they have Blood Mist.
Are fortified.
He's going to be spraying blood all over the place.
Just a classic 3-man Ravage into a 3-man Static Storm. I mean, Ace and tOfu, just one of the best combos in terms of the offlane dual lane you would want to have in your team. Coming in pretty clutch is Talon. I think they were certainly caught with their pants down there.
And Mikoto doing a good job of making sure that these lanes are pushed. He's very close to Aghanim Scepter, which we've seen a ton at this tournament.
He is going to have to be the difference maker. Like, I would say all Mikoto is going to have to look for is tOfu in these later fights. You get the Aghanims, you're going to get in the back line with your BKB, and even if you don't fully kill this goddamn tOfu Disruptor, you need to stop him from Static Storming on top of a Ravage, because this is like the main combo that Gaimin will use to slaughter you in this game.
And getting the... Was it you that was telling me this? He got the shard on Ember, right? So the Remnants...
Insta-cancels anything.
Instinct, that doesn't even make sense, though.
It doesn't.
So I'm going to explain what I think is happening.
Wait, you're saying it makes sense?
No, I'm not saying it makes sense.
Okay.
I'm trying to explain to the viewers that don't know.
Yeah.
When you throw out a Remnant, there's a travel time. But when you have Shard, it's doing damage over time, and it actually instantly, even before the Remnant travels, it's doing damage in that area, correct?
It has 3,000 max range. If you press it 3k range away, the moment you press it on the ground, it will instantly cancel the blink of anyone in that area.
Right.
Even if the Remnant is on top
weird
of it.
in 2 ways, because the Remnant takes time to travel, and number 2, any damage over time spells actually take a quarter of a second to actually tick in to cancel blinks.
But not
normally.
Ember Shard.
That's right.
Which is a feature.
It's because he's a ninja. You see, the lore.
Oh,
very important.
God, that's great.
He's all over the place. I mean, he's a spirit after all. DyrachYO going for the Lotus, trying to get that block of cheese eventually, but he's going to get surrounded. Pops the BKB, and he's out.
Just TP out, lol.
Now, they're going to need
a basher. Coddle basher.
We've seen it twice. I can't believe I'm saying that. Seen it 2 times before. Usually against an Enigma.
30-50 ages, by the way. Just
Is anybody laughing? No one seems to notice that was an all chat.
I mean, that's his team. They're like just playing it off. Eternal Enemy would be proud.
I wish we could get a replay of Talon when they read that.
They're probably too focused. They're playing for, what, at least top 3, like moving on in the lower bracket. They seem kind of chill. Maybe they had a good chuckle. 23 seems like he's happy.
Yeah, he's always happy, except for the other day.
Don't. It's still too soon.
Yeah,
you gotta wait a little more.
Hey, we were wondering how they would bounce back from that. They 2-0'd 9 Pandas today, and the first game was relatively close. Second game was a complete stomp. So I'd say they're looking good.
I mean, they're still looking
in this game as well.
pretty good in this game, apart from this one little play that did just happen. tOfu now has a blink. I don't know, maybe... Oh, he also has a static storm duration talent. Yeah, that's pretty handy and dandy. He'll have that. I know we're talking about this Disruptor a lot, and maybe for you guys wondering at home, but this tOfu Disruptor, he did the same thing yesterday, and with the Axe, he's just a game changer.
But what's changed? Like, this Axe has been beyond broken forever.
Yeah. But
Like,
they
I still
don't
rate it as a top 5 in the game, doesn't matter what position.
That is true. But people don't always get the farm, and people aren't as damn good as tOfu.
Okay, that's sure. 23 Savage actually denies the double damage rune. So not, even though he's kind of close to it.
Was it bottom?
It was bottom.
Well, he doesn't want to take any chances.
Yeah.
You would have died.
Well, potentially, yeah.
You would have gone for the rune and just fed anyway.
Showing some restraint, though. That's a good thing for 23 Savage. He has an S and Y now, so has the extra stats resist to work with.
Maybe this is, like, this certainly has to be one of the downsides of when you do draft offlane Razor. They're lacking a little bit of initiation. Like,
Yeah,
even
they have
in
no crowd control, basically.
Exactly. And all the last fights, it's just Ace, he's initiating, Ravage, you follow it up, but how do you do the same thing as Talon? It's like a lot more awkward for you. It's gonna have to be on the side of Mikoto, but he wants to deal with the back line, not really the front.
I mean, now that I look at their lineup, they literally have no stuns.
They have, yeah,
Literally
unless you
zero.
count Searing Chains.
No, that's a root.
So yes, they have 0
They have
stuns.
literally 0 stuns. Wow. Okay,
Even when they pick up the Glip Lob, that's also just another route.
that's true. They're gonna smoke up. Roche is gonna be up in a minute 10. They don't know if it's up or not yet. As a sheep stick now onto Ace.
That's even more CC.
He's a monster.
Okay.
Nice D-ward here from Ollie. But that does give away their position, of course.
And Gaimin are checking if Roche could be up, and they're gonna smoke themselves as well, as they did give up their area earlier. But tOfu will place another ward on the ground.
All about tOfu. There's a Seleri Chains first onto DyrachYO. tOfu waiting in the back. They're gonna get the spot here. The Ravage is only onto 2, and
That's
it's
a
really
zombie.
just on the zombie,
He's
man.
very dead.
They get him. He's gonna buy back instantly, though. And DyrachYO gets
DyrachYO?
chased completely. No fire still applies. He's gonna get linked as well. And the big gush coming out. Yules gonna hold Mikoto in place for the time being. And blood right onto a couple heroes. 23 Savage forced
Quinn
to
is
use
getting
his
slapped.
BKB. Quinn, no link for you because that is reserved for DyrachYO now, apparently. 70 seconds of no Lesh, and Roche is spawning in 15. So Gaimin Gladiators kind of botching the initiation. I mean, the Ravage technically hit 2, but really the main target was the Undying, who could just clearly buy back, so that's 2 big ults expended.
Does Undying look anywhere close to any other hero in this game? No, right?
What do you mean?
Like, did they think he was a different hero? They used everything on the zombie map.
I don't know what kind of cosmetics he has applied, but no, don't think
No,
so.
I mean, Talon gonna be very happy about that. Gaimin going into the next fight, I mean, surely, I mean, they must know. We want to, like, Ravage Static, one of the, like, more important heroes. Sure, I guess if he's around on the Undying, he can save one, but they're gonna have to look for better initiations. As Talon get themselves both the Aegis and the Cheese.
You make it sound like a surprise. Oh, they picked up both items in the rush.
Shut up, Shannon.
All right, very good. Continuing on here. And we'll see what they can end up getting with this. There's only one outer tower for Gaimin, so Talon in a pretty good spot right now. And keep in mind, of course, that the Tormentors are up and running, in case people were wondering. Of course. I'd love to have these big graphics on the screen that just pop up the instant that they're up. They're just as important as Roche. They should get a spot by the mini-map. Very important for the future of Valve.
They should take timers of when the Tormies respawn. I'm sure they don't do that.
Of course not. They don't even know when they spawn to begin with. It's always 20 minutes. Well, 23 Savage, he can hear us.
He knows.
That's right, it's time.
Torment time.
It's time for Tormentor. The cube must die. Imagine coming up with this concept of a very cool creature that drops shard. Somebody in the meeting was like, let's make a cube, and somebody else said, good idea. That's what happened, and we're going to see Jabz get his shard.
Were you a part of this discussion? Yeah, it's probably you and Sint who suggested that. Let's be real here.
I don't know, that sounds like a Slacks idea. He says it's something to do with Arc Warden. I'm like, who gives a shit?
He needs to relax.
It's just a cube, man. Come on.
Literally no one cares.
Imagine being tormented by a cube, by a literal shape. Anywho, they get the shard onto the Razor. How do you rate this shard?
Very game dependent. Because it's one, when I see it against like PLs and stuff, it's like incredibly strong. On this game, you know, yeah, like a mid-tier shot.
Gush is not a single target spell anymore with the Agnum Scepter, but every Rupture
That is true.
is going to proc this thing.
Every time you get hit as well after a couple times, so it's okay. He'll take it. Quinn's gonna be fairly annoyed, like casting some lightning storms on him or whatever.
I mean, what was the other option? It was Recall, right?
Recall is pretty good. I mean, you already have very good ways for Talon to play the map, as you do have the Ember, and you also have TB. So I guess it doesn't make the biggest difference, but it allows for other heroes to go back to the map and then be recalled into the fight.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Talon's sitting on a 1K lead, so despite the momentum feeling like it's definitely on Talon's side, the net worth not really too much in their advantage.
In the game,
I mean, you think Gaimin Gladiators are feeling okay at this point? I mean, I'm sure they feel like they're behind, but like the net worth, like I said, is very even.
they're okay, but I wouldn't say that they're super happy with the position they're in, because even now if they take fights, maybe once Ace gets closer to a refresher and maybe also tOfu can work towards one, they'll be better. But right now Talon, they're getting a lot of stuff which just allows them to continuously go in.
Oh, they might find the Lash as Quinn is going to get linked up and relocated, so actually forced the BKB from Jabz as well.
Middle tower
There's lots of TPs coming in. And Seleri, I'm just going to call it now, he's dead.
A very good call.
Quite dead.
Wow.
There he goes, despite no stuns. The root acts as a stun when you don't have a dispel, in some ways. Immobilizes you.
Love being immobilized.
Refresher on Jabz, by the way, so that is a very big item.
This is one of the problems right now for Gaimin. Like, it's very easy for Talon to get on you with multiple heroes. You have the Ember who can just jump all the way in the backline, right, with his Aghanims. But also Jabz with just a double BKB. If he can make sure he's BKB'd while running in and he doesn't get ravaged into static, he's gonna be more than fine.
Now 23 Savage is very scary. So Scotty, Silver Edge, BKB, SNY, and now a Satanic.
He's also got this, I don't know how to pronounce the first word on his neutral item, Martyr's Plate.
Yeah, you got it right. Good job.
It's pretty damn good, especially when you have the Aegis. First of all, 25% magic resistance. Pretty damn good. And if other people are getting combo womboed, you pop it and you redirect the damage to yourself.
Yeah, do you think he'll ever click that button?
No. Because he doesn't know he can.
It's just, I mean, if he could have gotten the cloak, which I can't remember the name.
Trickster
Yeah,
cloak.
he would have taken that, surely.
Probably.
Does that get, what's the magic resist on that?
I think it's 20-20. 20 magic, 20
So this one actually
evasion.
gives more, but you don't get evasion or invis, right?
Honestly, evasion, pretty lame this game. You're just getting magicked.
Yeah, I mean, eventually DyrachYO. I mean, what does he have right now? He's got Manta, Mjolnir, Ags. That's still a lot.
He's got the Bloody Lightning build. Mjolnir, Ags.
He's going for the Butterfly next, so with that, does 23 Savage need to go for an MKB?
It's probably pretty good if he can, right? Maybe you go for the Swift Blink first and then the MKB, but having this full potential to just burst through with whichever target you want to go on, sounds pretty good to me.
We got some mass TPs back to base for Gaimin Gladiators.
Well, they smoked all the way bottom and picked up 2 Lotuses.
And because they see that the Tormentor is still
time.
up. Enemy Tormentor time. It's time to give the shard to Kotl or Demon Zeal.
He already has it.
He has Demon Zeal?
He has Demon Zeal, my bro.
Recall then. Okay, they're not going to go for it as Jabz in the trees. DyrachYO would be a big target. There's Eye of the Storm #1 with the BKB. There's the refresher on top of it, but they don't have the slows needed as DyrachYO with a little baby relocate. It's going to be enough for him to get away, but the focus is on this disruptor for Mikoto. They finally get the kill, but he does have buyback on Seleri, and a lot has been expended from Talon, honestly. I feel like Gaimin could actually still fight with his buyback still intact. Seleri is dead. Also able to get back in the game if he wants.
Okay, so 2 buybacks are available, but the thing is, you need tOfu at the start of the fight, so it's not too easy to set up a Ravage into the buyback from him. But Talon looks like they're just going to be happy with that, because Jabz did expand his refresher, right? Yeah, so that's down for 2.5 minutes on the Razor.
And keep in mind that Quinn actually bought the shard himself as well. So they have this long-range AoE Gush, and they have Splitter. I mean, these are like 2 of the best spells for high ground defense. Other than Elder Titan, of course, which we mentioned
Which
the other
was
day.
yesterday in the game.
And
you,
by the way, just news for everybody, Elder Titan is not in this game now, just to make sure.
You're making that clear. As a Splitter is incredibly annoying later in this game, as 23 Savage, an abuser here, with the meta being on range form, so he used the Illusion Riders that time down. Honestly, getting in quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's showing themselves here, which I think indicates to Talon that maybe they're smoked, but we can see that it's not really that kind of a move.
20, 20, 20, 20.
Yeah, they almost get the full tier 3. And Gaimin Gladiators a bit on the back foot, but they're not going up against the Aegis, just the cheese. And I mean, Jabz, this build is disgusting. It's really good, but it feels like like we talked about, they're missing this crowd control where he can just stand, and I mean, he is really fast, but if he can disengage as Gaimin Gladiators, then...
Yeah, and they've got the reload for that, right? So Mikoto, he's going to be the one who has to go in the backlines as DyrachYO. He's got the double rupture, which should help them out. So these relocates are very, very annoying for Talon to deal with, but I like what Jabz has got queued up. He kind of understands what's happening in this game. He's queuing up the sheep, can sheep the people down. When the reload comes in, you can try to get it on Seleri. As also Mikoto's next item with the refresher, like this is the dirtiest timing of an Ember Spirit.
Yeah. Jabz has his Midas in his backpack. It's not on cooldown. Come on now, Jabz.
Gold?
Come on now, Jabz.
Swap in the gold.
You can do it. I mean, he could get jumped at any moment, so that would be pretty bad if he lost any of these items.
It's a very, very long Roche respawn. Almost like, what, 2 minutes 50? So both teams
waiting around.
They get more time to talk about what they want to do. How do we need to fight? Like, who's going to have buybacks? Because still, for Gaimin, the game plan hasn't really changed. They need to blow people up with a good static storm. And that is going to be set up through Ace. So he has to come in big and clutch in the next fight.
I feel like maybe in some respects, Gaimin just need to be in the actual pit area to force Talon to get closer so that a Ravage can be successful. It's not like they're working with any giant AoE spells, as we've discussed. So actually fighting into the pit is not that scary for Gaimin, I feel like, but Talon, they're getting the better of the map right now. 8k lead, still cheese there for Jabz. His refresher's up again.
If you're Talon, I mean, the thing is you don't know that Roche isn't up. Well, they had an illusion in. Like, one of your team could go mid right now and push it in. Because Gaimin are just waiting here forever, but you have Ember, Recall, and Illusions to work with. So we already see the mid lane pushing in. I think that Gaimin are not going to be happy about this incredibly long Roche respawn.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, Mikoto.
You have to worry. Remnant in the pit now. As there's actually 2 siege units as well starting to hit those barracks. So Gaimin, they need to fight now or get back. And we can see Roche is not up for another minute 10, so technically speaking they could do that, but of course they don't have the same information as us.
Their mid melee racks is half HP, by the way.
Yep.
And it's still 1 more minute.
Siege creeps are absolutely destroying you. Another creep wave coming in.
Maybe you reload back here, but that doesn't feel good. Like, then they can just invade you.
Yeah, if they show mid, then I think Talon just goes. But here's the fight.
Oh, jab up.
Jabz, first BKB. There's the refresher to follow. He's going to get ruptured. The DyrachYO trying to kill him in the meantime. Taking a lot of damage as Quinn. He's not the one linked up again. He's getting countered by 23 Savage. DyrachYO trying to run away as Mikoto chasing him down with another slide of fist. He's dead. No buyback for him. Finally, the Ravage comes out, but not to much avail as Quinn is just going to drop dead as well. And Seleri buying back into the game, but there's nobody to link up because all his cores are dead. And it looks like this might be a dieback for Seleri. Triple kill for 23 Savage. And their world is their oyster. That's not the saying, but they can get the racks, and Mikoto shows up in the mid lane, takes it. They can go down top. I don't think there's anything Gaimin Gladiators can do.
You have no DyrachYO, you have no Quinn, you die back as well on Seleri. Okay, you're gonna get Ace back, who's gonna try to delay with what some gushes around, but there's a Demon Zeal. They're just gonna keep clicking it down. Like, even Jabz has got 300 damage at this point.
Yeah, I'm in the melee form now. Satanicking on the creeps, and second set of racks going the way of Talon. I think they could get megas too.
They might just be able to do both, where you go megas into the throne after.
Absolutely, and now they have to worry about a refresher onto Mikoto. 23 Savage not wasting any time. Demon Zeal activated.
This is a fast push. I think they're gonna go both for more.
Almost megas. There's still that range racks with a little bit of HP in the top lane. They'll probably go finish that off. And if they want to play it super safe, they just go kill Roche now. As Gaimin Gladiators start to spawn. Okay, they're gonna go for the tier 4s. Demon Zeal again from 23 Savage. Tier 4 number 1 is eventually gonna drop. The Sheep Stick is there from Ace temporarily. And now 23 Savage is going to back away. Learning his lessons from past games, not celebrating too early this time, Kazu.
It's gonna go back. I mean, if the last series did not teach them a lesson, that would have been a rough one. As now they also have a scythe completed on Jabz and Gaimin. Still very much the same thing that they have to somehow get through. Blink, Ravage, Static, as they're going to go for one last play, and they're going to have to be fast. You're playing against Megas right now.
They have Ravage in 12 seconds. They're showing themselves with a lot of spells, so I think Talon are going to be ready for this. In fact, they're not even going into the pit, so they're just going to fight the old-fashioned way here.
They're just waiting.
Ooh, a refresher onto Ace, though, so if you can find a good Ravage, anything can happen. The spot Mikoto, the Yule,
Static
to the Static Storm. Ravage #1 from Ace, but the BKBs come out from Jabz and 23. He actually goes inside the tombstone for some reason. He's perfectly healthy. DyrachYO able to pound down this Razor. That's going to be a kill for DyrachYO. Looks like Quinn does die, buys back in the game along with Jabz.
Oh my god, Ace.
Thunder onto Ace as he gets his second Ravage out, knowing that he cannot buy back. It's only there in a defensive measure, though, as Gaimin Gladiators on the run. Their base starting to get overwhelmed by creeps.
Mikoto going for more.
Finds Seleri, linking up. But the remnants are coming for you, and he will take a tumble again. But the Yules into the split earth. No, Mikoto getting off the BKB, and at 23 Savages here with that meta form, focusing everything now onto Quinn. Does find some distance, though, but now the buildings are in the way. Gets the Yules, nullifier there. There's Jabz with the refresher, getting off the Eye of the Storm and the nullifier, but Lesh able to get back into his base safely as a big static link onto DyrachYO is going to provide a lot of damage for Jabz. The tier 4 #2 is killed. And now the Ancient fully exposed. DyrachYO goes down to a casual plasma field, buys back into the game, but with his Ancient completely exposed, this should be the end of game 1 shortly.
Oh, the splitters.
Quinn, that's true.
They've got a lot of
extremely annoying. Nullifier now into DyrachYO. He cannot afford to die here. Big Lightyear comes out, and that's going to be the death of the Bloodseeker. A dieback. And now it looks like Quinn is next. A casual grab ally for no particular reason is used.
Oh, just Talon disappeared.
And Talon take game 1.
Really good performance on the TV. He just played solid. He didn't have any big really